now. It's preparing.
Oh,
Now it's live.
okay. I want people to see me doing this. Think I'm crazy early in the morning. What is he doing?
Oh
It's the
my
uh,
God.
Last Dragon.
So whoever watches this not live,
Yeah.
welcome.
Oh,
Good
this is
morning.
live? We're live right now?
Good morning,
Oh,
Shawn Young.
good morning. What up? What up? What up? What up? Good morning. Good morning, Jamaica. What's happening? I mean, good morning, everyone watching this. I'm thoroughly discombobulated watching Jamaica's background right now. How's it going, Jamaica? How you feeling?
I'm good. I'm good. I'm good. I'm really good. I'm trying to, yes, it really is live. I'm checking all the things, making sure it's working. You know how I
Want to
do.
start over? You want to start over?
But yeah, let's start
One
over.
time? Okay, all right, one time.
Good morning, Shawn Young.
And good morning, Jamaica Miles, and good morning, everyone. Welcome to Focus Fridays. That's so corny, but how's it going? How's it going out there, Jamaica? What's up? Talk to
Um,
us, tell the people about that beautiful background. That is not one of those screensavers or one of
no,
those.
right?
Yeah, yeah.
It looks like a screensaver. It does. I am good and telling everyone I'm live from Puerto Rico.
And Puerto Rico in the house. That's that, man. I'm telling you, man. I mean, it's a sight better. I mean, this background is also nice, but this certainly ain't got nothing on yours right now.
Well, I
Tell
mean,
people.
honestly though, we both are rocking in reality the same background. Because
Mm,
the reason I'm in Puerto Rico is to end incarceration of women and girls. And we're always about investing in community and not incarceration. So our backdrops are the same, just look a little different.
I saw what you did there. I like that. I like that. I like that. So, you're at the Free Her Conference 2023. You want to tell the people a little bit about about what's going on there and what's going to happen in the upcoming days?
Yeah, so there's over 500 folks from across the country came to Puerto Rico to talk about how we end the incarceration of women and girls. Yes, it's about the abolition of prisons and jails. How do we get to that space? What does that look like while coming from a space of healing
Mm.
and rest and self-care? Because we can't care for others if we don't care for ourselves. So 3 days of workshops and conversations and best practices and connecting with people doing the work. It's going to be great. It's going to be great. I'm really excited. Really excited.
I'm really excited for you. That's amazing. You're with a couple of our folks from
Couple
out here.
folks, shout out to Jamila and Mona down here with me. Ride or die chicks right now. Like it has been an adventure already.
Yeah, yeah, I
And
can imagine.
yep, and you know who you're with when you are like, what just happened?
Mhm, mhm.
We're good. We're good. So I got no worries, no concerns. I appreciate them. They appreciate me. It's all good. But
Nice.
it's y'all can't. I'm not gonna do the whole thing where I move the whole camera, but the
Yeah.
views. It is.
That's I'm really happy that you all out there doing that work, and it's certainly a bonus to have in a beautiful place like Puerto Rico. So I hope the trip goes really well. Hope you connect with a lot of folks in this work. Like you said, it's a national convening. You got people from all over the country there. I really look forward to hearing back, how it went and who we're connected to after this. So dope. So back here in little old Schenectady, New York, little place that's in the capital region of New York. We got some things going on too. You want to jump into that?
Well, I feel like because there's just so much that's been going on that we are due a disclaimer, right? We talk about a lot, but it's not possible for us to talk about everything. And while there's a lot in the news locally, nationally, internationally, we're fully aware that mainstream media does not always tell the stories that need to get told, and they don't always tell them in the way that they need to be told from the voice of the people impacted. Um, every day there's stuff happening and we can't possibly cover everything. Um, but we specifically, all of us, me and you, Shawn Young, have been looking at what are those ways that we can share information with folks, make sure they're up to date, that they're aware, that they're connected, and that it is coming from a space of impacted, marginalized folks, individuals that if you're telling a story about somebody and not hearing it from their voices, how do we eliminate those things? And while we continue to look for those ways, we're gonna, share bits and pieces on this platform and then look for other ways that, we can connect folks to what they need to know.
All right, awesome. So we've got two different kind of subjects that me and you were going to tackle. We've got Jamaica's Children's Corner, and we got some information from behind the wall. Jamaica, if you don't mind continuing on, you want to jump into the Children's Corner?
Yeah, Children's Corner. Folks know education has been, pretty much at this point, my lifelong struggle, and passionate about making sure our children are cared for inside our education system, but also everywhere. We are very happy that a young person, Charlotte, was found, right? She went missing at a state park. She was found and returned to her family. Unfortunately, there are other girls still missing. There are other children still missing. I know folks have been sharing different posts. I appreciate it. Folks, look for that information, share that information, and be mindful, because we do still face this disproportionate impact that girls of color go missing and we don't talk about them. There are some states that are actually making a change and creating a platform specifically for girls of color to lift that up and ensure that they get the resources necessary. And hopefully everyone can find a way that there's resources for every child to be found. There was a young girl in East Greenbush that was missing. Indigenous girls largely go missing more often than anyone else. And we need those resources to keep our children safe. So while we celebrate the individuals who have been found, let's also be mindful that there are still children missing. And how can we change systems and structures, right? Because that's what we're about, to ensure there is that access for everyone to look for missing loved ones. So that's where we are in the Children's Corner. We've got some happy news, but we still have a lot more children that are missing.
Yeah, I just want to, I want to add on to that a little bit. I've noticed a lot in my in my social media feeds that this, that Black children in general, children of color, have been going missing at what feels like that feels like a terrible rate, right? Like when you look at, no children should ever be missing, but there just seems to be so many different instances of children coming missing. Like there's this whole thing going on in Ohio right now, right? That there's like almost an endemic where you're having all these different, numbers of children missing in our own area. You remember we were in City Hall not too maybe a few months back, and they have this blotter up with all the children that are missing. And it's just like, and one, we're not seeing a lot of media around it, which is really concerning. It's like I don't know, man. I feel like it's something that goes on in the dark too often, and we need to be having these conversations because our children are definitely in danger when it comes to being on our own. So I just be mindful. This is the thing about community, right? When there's a community involved and people, our neighbors, are talking with each other, like this type, we could actually stem a lot of this stuff, right? Like we don't talk enough with each other. Everyone's like, I want to mind my business. These kids are just unruly and acting crazy, and they're not really paying attention. That leaves, I think, space or opportunity for individuals who would seek to do harm to our children to like take advantage of. So I would hope that everyone, listening to what we're talking about, if you look into it yourself, you'll see exactly all these instances of children coming up missing. Just pay attention, man. Pay attention, be aware, and talk with your community, talk with your neighbors, so that our children have a safe place to stay. We have Halloween that's coming up, pretty soon. So everybody stay safe, be aware, and just stay in community with your folks. I just wanted to add that piece because I've definitely been seeing it a lot in my stream. And people are like, yo, no one's talking about this, especially when it comes to Black girls. You know what I mean?
It does. It happens too often. And again, to your point, folks not talking to each other and then being surprised. Why is there no one to help me? Right? But if we don't know each other, we don't know when we're missing either. And there are families that I had a conversation with a mom a few years back, that it was a horrible situation. Her daughter went missing. She didn't get help. The story she told to me was about her reaching out to the police, and they labeled her a runaway.
Mm.
Her mom found her after she had been killed, right? So these are the things. This is the resources. This is the community. This is how do we view our children, right? In Children's Corner, how are we viewing our children, and what are those differences that are made based on race, socioeconomic status, right? Your zip code, and how can we change that, so that when it's in the news, it is more of those stories about children being found, because it's all connected. And when we're talking about our children, we also think about, school to prison pipeline and all of those things and how we're impacted, which brings us to the segment from Shawn Young, Behind the Wall.
Segment from Shawn Young. So you brought this to my attention. There's a brother named Chandler McCray in the Albany County Jail who has suffered a lot of abuse. You have more of the details than I do, but I just on the fact that, this abuse that happened at the county jail is not a unique instance. This is something that happens in all our jails. It's a place that there's a lot of silence. There's not a lot of eyes on. So people take that power that they have over someone and they abuse it. Right. And in this instance, this is pretty horrible abuse that happened to this brother. Could you just tell us a little bit of details of what you heard?
I think just to keep it simple, right, is that someone was physically assaulted by corrections officers while being held in the county jail. And this is someone who is known for having mental health issues. Again, here we are. And we know that our jails and prisons are not places where human beings, individuals, they're all people, are taken care of. And so, and you can talk to this more, right? This is one thing we heard about inside the Albany County Jail. I know of someone that didn't receive medical care inside the Schenectady County Jail, right? And how this just is, it's ongoing, right? 2020, we had an uproar, but it's still happening.
Yeah, it didn't go away. It didn't, the things that we were fighting for didn't go away because the crowds disappeared, right? Like, we don't have the same number of people that are walking in the streets and demanding change, about these issues of abuse that happen from law enforcement and from the correctional officers that are inside. But the issues that we're fighting for still exist. They're just not being talked about as much. So I really appreciated you bringing, this brother up and just talking about what was going on with him and his family and the concerns that they have, because raising awareness around these issues is something that is extremely important in order to make sure that we can potentially have some sort of change happen, or at least be able to hold folks accountable. Mental health and incarceration are going hand in hand. Right. We don't have the mental institutions that not to say that those were even great, but we don't directly address mental health in a way that's actually, I think, impactful. We incarcerate our mental health folks that are suffering from mental health, especially when they're of a certain socioeconomic class, right? They don't get the help. They don't get the retreat. They don't get the time, the patience, the care, concern. We just lock them up. I've actually got family members of my own who went through this very same thing, suffering mental health, getting the evaluation, found to still be able to be, held accountable as if he didn't have any mental health, long-term mental health issues, and had to suffer some time incarcerated before he was let out, and didn't have his mental health never really addressed, right? So this is something that, I've seen for a lot of years, both in the state, feds, and county jails. And without us talking about it, without people stepping up and being aware of it, things will never change. I think that if folks really knew what was going on, right? If folks didn't have the opportunity to ignore it, I think it'll be a lot easier for us to get the changes that we all deserve. And this is why we have these conversations, right? Just to keep raising awareness around topics that aren't being talked about.
And there's another case, right, that actually is moving forward up in Saratoga.
Yeah, and I was about to jump into our brother Daryl Mount, who suffered some severe injuries after interaction with the police. There's been a whole lot of Saratoga Black Lives Matter. All of us, sometime we brought up these issues a few years ago. They've held on to the torch and are continuing to fight for Daryl Mount and his family. There's a civil case that is finally being brought in front to the court. And it's about damn time. It's been a very, very long time. No one has been held accountable. Daryl Mount died, I think, a really unnecessary death. And getting to the bottom of it is extremely important to everyone in our community, because if it can happen to Daryl, right, as it happened to so many others, it can happen to us, right? You got something to add? You want to say about Daryl and what that was like?
That's it. It's about damn time.
It's about damn time. So we're really happy that that case is moving forward, and shout out to the Saratoga Black Lives Matter crew, who are continuing to fight the good fight in all the ways they can up in Saratoga. So where are we at?
Yeah. What else we got to talk about in the news?
Well, I mean, so we've talked about the Children's Corner. We talked a little bit about what's happening behind the wall, and it was happening with instances of police brutality, Daryl Mount, and other, across our country. Civic engagement in politics, right? Let's move into that other layer of this work that we often try to address. And we've got a local race going on right here in the city of Schenectady, right? Yeah. We've got some folks running for city council. We got the mayoral race, and they just had a debate recently. So go ahead. What you got?
No, they did. There definitely was a debate. Yep, that happened.
There was a debate. So which way you want to start? You want to start with the mayoral debate? You want to start with what happened on the city council debate?
I don't know that. One, I don't think we have time. Two, like it's a lot. And so what I'm gonna do is I want to make sure to drop in the comments the link that individuals can go ahead and watch for themselves what the mayor said, what the mayoral candidate said, the city council, the incumbents versus those who are vying for the seat. Let them see for themselves what they said, right? I think the important part is we are not paying attention, and I understand we don't have time, and also some folks just don't think it's worth it. But these people make decisions that impact our lives. We should know who is it that wants to represent us at the local level. And so I'm definitely going to share that link so that folks be like, oh, that person said that and they want to be my mayor, they want to be my city council member. Okay.
Well, I mean, let me take about 15 seconds just to, because I actually sat in on a debate and listened in to a little bit what I was talking about, and just like these are like really broad strokes, right? We've got the current mayor McCarthy running to hold the seat. We've got a Republican Party member and a Working Families Party member running.
Not a Working Families Party member. So I'm going to pause you.
Candidate. Sorry, he's a Working Families Party candidate.
There is someone running on the Working Families Party line who stole the line from the endorsed candidate. The Working Families Party endorsed candidate was Marion Porterfield, and then Varno. It's a longer conversation.
It's a long conversation. So when you say stole the line,
by the Working Families Party committee, he didn't even ask to be interviewed. So
see, I feel like this is like we don't even have the time to educate.
Don't have the time, and I'm sorry. I took.
But listen, I just wanted to say, and I think that was a great point. Not a member, but a person that is a candidate and that got the votes, stole the line from the endorsed candidate. I think that's okay. Maybe that's enough. But we'll be able to have that conversation about what that means at another time, because we don't have time today. But I just want to say, it was a very interesting debate. I thought the Gazette did a fairly good job of the type of questions that they asked. The lightning round stuff was pretty interesting. There's a lot to hear in that debate. So we ask people to please just tune in, take a couple of minutes and listen in and listen to what the folks who are looking to make decisions about the city you live in, right? What they're saying, what they're doing, what they're thinking about. It's important, right? We got an election that's coming up. Get involved, pay attention. You want to know these things. You want to know how your roads are getting fixed. You want to know where their investments are going. You want to know what public safety means. You want to know the trajectory of your city. You should know the people that are running, right?
And register to vote.
Register to vote. And you have an opportunity with us all the time. You want to register to vote, you're not registered, reach out. We'll figure it out for you. We'll make it happen. We'll help you navigate that. No
There
problem.
are 13,000 eligible voters in the city of Schenectady who are not registered as of today. 13,000. But our elections are won from anywhere between 100 and 300 votes. And it's even less than that if you talk about school board races.
Yeah.
That's how many people are deciding who is representing more than 60,000 people.
So I got a question for anyone that's watching. Are you one of those 13,000? Are you one of those 13,000 people who ain't registered to vote, who's just not actually involved in any way in what this process looks like? If
Your
you
vote
are,
matters.
if you are, there's an open call for you right now. Reach out to all of us. We'll get you registered to vote. We'll tell you where your voting place is at. We'll make it happen for you, man. Just make it happen for yourself, because it ain't about doing it for us. It's about doing it for yourself. Get involved. That's how we can get changes. All right. So let's move on a little bit, because we are coming up on time. I really want to talk a little bit more about what happened in that debate, but I understand. I'll leave it where it's at. I'll let the people decide about what they're hearing when they watch the link. So we got something coming up.
We do, keeping it local.
Keeping it local.
Important to the people.
All right. So what's going on? What are we doing October 21st in the city of Schenectady at our one of our favorite places to have convenings with the community, Sikkim, with Amari Santos and that great crew, and Pearl, Auntie Pearl in the building, food and all of that. October 21st, 1 to 3. Tell them, Jamaica, what are we doing?
We are having a panel discussion and open information session about how renters can become homeowners. I'm literally dropping the bit.ly so y'all can register and join us from renter to homeowner, because it is possible. Too often we are told that, or we think, right? Maybe it's just more an assumption. Oh, well, I can't be a homeowner. There's going to be people with applications, with grants. You qualify for someone to help you pay for the down payment or the closing costs, to help you fill out the forms, right? Because you have time. There are new buildings being built on Summit Ave. There's an actual investment in the community where the priority, Pamela, thank you so much. If y'all don't know about AIK Properties, they will be there as well, talking about this project and why it's important to them to create homes with the goal of putting them into the ownership of low-income families. What? A low-income family could be a homeowner, could have that security, could be paying a mortgage for their own property as opposed to paying rent to someone else's property, that they can get assistance about upkeep and taking care of it and all of that stuff. Yes. That's what's happening on Saturday, October 21st. Can you tell I'm excited? I'm very excited because I need the information too.
No, very excited. Shout out again to Pamela Swanigan and AIK, who's in partnership with a bunch of folks, the city of Schenectady, and the mayor was involved, MLB, a bunch of folks, right? There's a bunch of folks that are involved in this project. It's being led by her group at AIK. Really appreciate our opportunity to be a part of the community engagement aspect of that. That's getting to you all that are watching, letting you know that this opportunity exists. Home ownership is extremely important. And once upon a time in our city, and we talked a little bit about this on your birthday, right? Like the trajectory of homeowners versus renters, that ratio having flipped at once upon a time being upper 70s, 80% people actually own their home versus 20% renters. Now it's the other way around. And then many of our property owners do not live in the city. And that has an impact on what's actually happening at that house, the care and concern that people put in, the investment that they put into that house when they're not actually living there. And so it's a really great opportunity. If you ever wanted to own a home and you weren't really sure if it was something that was for you or something that could happen, please show up at this event, get this information. There's going to be there's a lot of different ways for you to get to where you need to in order to own this property. There's a lot of buildings that are going to get built and a lot of opportunity for you to be in one of them. So come down, get the information. If you're not where you need to be, they will walk you down those steps to get to where you need to be in order to own a home. Come down, become a homeowner, get the information, make it happen. It's so important right? Home ownership not only impacts, economics, right? Your financial, stability. It also impacts public safety and so many other things, right? Having your own home, having your own space. I was really excited to hear that this project was happening. I'm so excited that the city is actually doing something like this. This is what we talk about all the time. It's about investments in community. So this investment is huge, and it's not going to be the last project. So you want to get this information. So October 21st at the Sikkim Building on Albany.
At 1 p.m.
Oh, yeah, I would say at the Sikkim Building at 1 p.m. That's a Saturday. We're gonna have food, great conversation. We're gonna talk about home ownership. We're gonna talk about civic engagement. We're gonna talk about all the ways that we make our community safe, make our community better, make our community joyous, right? We need these conversations. So come on out October 21st. Once again, at 1 o'clock at the Sikkim Building. It's going to be a great discussion. We're going to have some wonderful folks there to kind of walk you through whatever steps you need, give you the information that you need. And you're going to get some food because you know what we do? We feed people.
We feed
right?
people. It's inclusive.
Yeah.
Bring your kids. It's fine. It's okay
Yeah,
to bring your kids.
Bring your
It's
kids.
okay to
Bring your
Please
kids.
register though. Please register.
Yes.
We like the registration has been, blowing up a little bit. I'm excited, but it also helps us to know what materials, how many materials we need to bring and to share with our partners. Hey, if we've got 40 people registered, that's different than if 10 people are registered. They want to have enough applications for everybody. They want to make sure they've got the flyers and information, that we've got enough food, that I've got enough chalk for the kids to draw on the wall again. The bit.ly link is dropped there in the comments. When I share this to YouTube, I'll make sure that we include the link in the description so folks are able to get it there as well. This is what we do. This is investment in community. This is what community looks like.
That's right. That's right. That's right. And now the sun is moving again. It's all in your face. Yeah, I know. Listen. Yes. That looks wonderful. Stop showing off, please. So I just wanted to, just reiterate a couple of things, man. Like there's a lot in the news. There's a lot that's happening across our world, our country, and locally. We have 30 minutes to kind of go through some of the stuff. Trust and believe we are very aware of what's happening globally. We see the news just like y'all see the news. We see what's happening in Palestine with Israel. We see what's happening in Africa. We see what's happening in Russia. We see what's happening in South America. There's a lot going on that we can be discussing, and we'll find time to get into a lot of that stuff. But it's really important that we address the local issues, because a lot of that times we miss that. And looking down the road, we not looking right what's happening right in our own community, and it's important that we continue to have these conversations, man. So y'all are aware of what's going on. We care about this community. We care about the city of Schenectady and the capital region, and we care about all that stuff that's happening right there. But this is right here in our backyard, so this is why we have the conversation about the local stuff. So just wanted to put that out there. And one last thing, because I know you want to talk. Sorry, but. Bring your kids on October 21st at 1 o'clock to Sikkim. But if you know who your kid is, right? If you know who your kid is, pay attention to your kid. That's all I'm saying. Pay attention to your kid. Don't just think you just going to have your kid. You'll keep them running all over the place.
By the way, the books that are behind Shawn right now. So stop listening to Shawn. The books that are behind Shawn, we have a whole bunch of children's books. We'll have children's books there that they can take, that they can keep, that they can own. So yeah, don't listen to Shawn. I'm watching a lizard. There's a lizard walking. It's not near me. I'm fine. So, because what could I even remember that I was going to say? You're such a wonderful person.
That's nice.
Other thing to remember when we're talking about what's local to us, because we know there are folks that watch us across the state, across the nation, right? We've got followers in other locations. It's also our message to you to pay attention to what is local to you. How are you checking the news? What are the resources that you're using to find out what's happening in your community? How is it that you may have information to share about your community? How are you connecting to other organizations that may be closer to you to share that information, right? It's about us being mindful of what's happening locally, including but not limited to politics and elections. Because civic engagement is what, Shawn? It's not just politics.
Mhm.
It's not just
No,
the election.
yeah, it's not just politics. It's about how we work with work within our communities to make sure our communities are healthy and whole, and having those conversations with neighbors. This is what we said a little bit, just working with the children and thinking about the children and what's happening to them. We could do something about that by being in community with each other. So, right, it's not just about politics. Civic engagement is about our entire community, right? The neighborhood that you're in and what's happening there. So look, we look like we're at time. Did they want to send us off? I mean, we did good. We ended it. We ended it at the right time. I mean, you look amazing out there in Puerto Rico.
We'll grab some breakfast and talk about how we look to prevent women and girls from being in cages, as well as how we end the all too often unlawful incarceration of our women and girls, and what that looks like specifically for women of color, as well as other marginalized communities. So I'm happy to be here. I'll be back with reports. Y'all, I'm gonna bring the sun back with me. So on the 21st, maybe it'll be like 60 degrees.
Nice. Hopefully that's the thing. Yeah, let's keep. Yeah, we would love to be able to hold it outside. That'd be really, really dope. All right, Jamaica, much love, man. Here in New York, hold it down. Out there in Puerto Rico, man, enjoy yourself. Give a shout out to Jamila and the whole crew.
I will.
All right, talk soon. Take care. Stay blessed. All right.
Bye, y'all.